Hey, mirror bitch. You looking real clean. You looking real bad. You looking like a queen. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you, but I gotta. Who else seen the trailer for Insecure season 3? Man, when I gotta tell y'all, I love this show. And the funny thing about how I got on Insecure is that I seen so many gifs and so many memes of Issa Rae, and I know who the fuck she was, but just seeing her and her big teeth everywhere. And then I started to see gifs and memes of the show, and I'm like, man, what is this show? Like I done seen, gifs of them talking about can a nigga get his dick sucked when they was talking about Jared, and I seen a gif of Lawrence fucking Tasha for the first time, and I'm like, man, what is this show? And I remember I was even watching Issa Rae's interviews on The Breakfast Club and enjoyed all three interviews and had never watched the show. So one night I was chilling and I had seen it on Amazon Prime because I recently became an Amazon Prime member, watching the content on the show. And people had told me that the show was good, so I had watched the show, and I was hooked on the very first episode from when Issa told Molly, she said, "Bitch, I swear on my brother's life and my life that I did not send a text." I've been hooked on the show ever since then, and this show is just phenomenal. I love it. It's so relatable, and I think that's one of the reasons why people love the show much is how relatable it is. Like it's so relatable. Like in workplace, relationships, friendships. It takes on people in all facets of life. So shout out to Issa Rae. She's a creative genius, and like I said, I love this show. Before I get into this review of this episode of season 3, the premiere episode, I just want to issue a quick little statement really quick about on my last video. I just did a review on Basketball Wives, so if y'all haven't watched that yet, please check that out after this video. But I said that I would start taking viewer questions. So if you would like any advice, any opinions, fair and objective from an outside looking in, you can send all questions to askthemaverickquestions@gmail.com. I will read them at the end, maybe like 2 to 3 questions at the end of every video, with your consent, of course. And that's it. I'll be putting a link to the email in the description box as well. So if you all want to know the real and you want to hear from me and nobody else, go ahead and hit up that email and let's get it popping. Now, my quick opinions on season 1 and season 2 as far as, Issa and Molly's situation with their love lives. The whole situation I feel like with Issa, people put it in perspective with me because at first I was all team Issa, but Issa was kind of shitting on Lawrence when he started to try, and then she had realized that she was not meeting him halfway or even open to meeting him halfway. And when he finally decided to try, she declared that she was in this, but in her being in this, she decided that she wanted Daniel up in her, which confused the hell out of me because it's like your man is taking footsteps in the right direction. You agreed to progress with him, and then you regress by fucking your ex. I didn't understand that at all. Molly, I feel, and even on this current season, I feel she does not know what the fuck that she wants, and I hope that is something that will be explored this season. She thinks she wants a marriage. She thinks she wants a relationship. She thinks she wants all these things, but when they're presented to her, she fucks them all up. Like she makes the right decisions in her her professional life, but when it comes to her private life, she's just as retarded as I don't know what. It doesn't make any sense. Every time she has a good dude in front of her, she just finds a reason to say, actually, you know what? I thought you was what I wanted. I don't want you anymore. So hopefully that's something that's explored. I thought it would have been explored more in the second season, but with her parents at least, but it was not because parents got the marriage, or at least they had the marriage to her, and she still didn't know how to set herself up to have what they had. So Molly didn't know what the fuck she want. So that's season 1. Season 2, Lawrence of course broke up with Issa when he found out that she cheated on him. But here's my thing on how I feel about the whole situation. I felt like it could have been worked out because they had been together for 5 years and Lawrence was unemployed for 2 years. Now I don't give a fuck how y'all try to explain it, whatever. But my thought process is this: if a man decides that, well, because in Lawrence's case, he shut down and entered depression, but at the end of the day, you used Issa for 2 years because because let's be clear, unemployment gets less and less, and he's been unemployed for 2 years. So I know after that second year, he started like making peanuts. Like I don't even think he would have been able to even pay his phone bill with unemployment. So it's like you ain't paying no bills. Your woman is literally taking care of you and everything. You are a child at this point. You are not a boyfriend. You are a child, and your woman took care of you for 2 years. So the stress of everything, and then on top of that, Issa works for a nonprofit. People who work in nonprofit do not make any fucking money, which is why she could not even afford to live in that shitty ass apartment once he left because they don't make any money. So your woman is going through the stress of not making any money, having to take care of you, herself, and provide a place to stay for the both of y'all. And you want to just lash out at her and dog her out and just lose all respect for her because she cheated on you because as a result of what the fuck you did. See, that's like the issue that I had. So Lawrence, to me, like Tasha said, became a fuck nigga who thought he was a good dude. And I just did not like how they were unable to reconnect and just work through that issue because at the end of the day, people say all the time, when you cheat on someone, that trust is lost, but you drove someone to cheat though. So if you don't drive anyone to cheat and you handle what the fuck you're supposed to do, in Issa's case, he drove her to cheat, I feel as though. So if he just handled up on being who the fuck he was supposed to be for himself and her, then he would not have to worry about her cheating on him again. She didn't cheat just because she just wanted to fuck. That wasn't the case. So if that was the case, she would have fucked Daniel from the beginning. She wouldn't have waited so fucking long. But be that as it may, that's how I feel about Issa and Molly. Oh, and Molly and this whole open marriage. Now, fuck it. Let's dive right into it. So, the show opens up with Daniel fucking a girl. Now, to me, I feel like they did that scene twice because you cannot tell me that girl was not darker skinned in the beginning. And then when it showed, when it was clear to us that that wasn't Issa he was fucking, Issa was on the couch. Then all of a sudden they brought in a lighter girl. I feel like they filmed that scene twice. Once with Issa to fool us, and then the second time to snatch us back into reality. Like, nah, they actually ain't fucking. And Issa's going crazy out of her mind. Like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. This motherfucker is fucking a bitch. While I'm in the living room, I got to go. So Issa does this little lift ride. The guy fucking throws up in the backseat of her car, and she's over it. Now, proceeding to the next scene, you have her, you have her friend Molly on the beach in Jamaica, and there's this guy, bringing her a glass of, I don't know, that's wine or champagne. I think it's champagne. No, I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't drink. But he brings her that, and he's talking about how, he, wants to kick it with her in LA, and Molly just, disregards that and just, plays it off by asking him a dumbass question about him having a visa. Like, I think she was in Jamaica, but it's like, bitch, if he was Jamaican, he definitely would have an accent. So, she plays it off, and then right there, and here's a guy who's willing, to take the steps with Molly, and she pushes him to the wayside. So Molly is still getting in her own way, or she still does not know what the fuck she wants. Anyway, we got Issa at We Got Y'all. She's no longer in the field. She now has an office job. And Patricia hands her a paper, and she's like, yeah, this is all the shit that Joanne wants you to get done. Wants to be done. Issa's like, oh, you not gonna do it? She like, nah. But it's like, Issa, Patricia wasn't gonna do shit. Patricia does not do shit. And it kills me how she still has a job. Like, every time they at the fucking meeting, this bitch is somewhere on her phone. Like, how is she still able to have a job? She's clearly not enthusiastic about giving back to these kids. So how is she still working for We Got Y'all? Frida comes in, Frida's all perky and shit, like just perky for no fucking reason. Every episode, Ken, clearly he's still pissed that Frida got the position that he wanted. So he gives her this cold shoulder, like, bitch, I got it. I got everything going on. Don't ask me shit. And she comes over to Issa, and Issa's like, bitch, please tell me you weren't able to talk to Joanne about me getting my position back. And Frida's like, well, girl, I just got this position. I'm not really trying to piss her off. This bitch really isn't having anybody's shit, let alone mine. I call her Noan, and Noan was pissed. But I feel like that whole situation still confused me with how Issa was. I mean, I guess the mistake that Issa made was she wasn't honest with Joanne because at the end of the day, girl, this out of your control. You don't work for the school, you work for We Got Y'all. So if the principal being a racist bigot and he don't want the Latin kids educated, then that is something that is what it is. Because if anything, he could be reported to the superintendent and lose his job for being racist. So that probably would have been a better solution for Issa to have taken than to try to just ignore it and just try to do what she could, make the best of her situation when she didn't have to. So as a result, her ass in the office, bored as fuck. Now, the next scene, you got Issa in the bathroom, and the funny thing about this scene is like I didn't catch it at first, but her ass was in the bathroom just staring at the medicine cabinet, and then I noticed that the hinges were there, and what was missing? A fucking mirror. And now I know Issa has been going crazy not being able to do her shit in the fucking bathroom because there's no mirror. And then as I feel like Daniel does well for himself as a music producer in LA. So the fact that he does well and can't get a fucking mirror replaced, like, dude, come on. Come on. Get a mirror so your ex-girlfriend can rap in the bathroom in private. So she's so desperate, she fucking turns to her goddamn left and she sees this little barber's mirror, this small ass barber's mirror. Like, bitch, my phone screen is bigger than that fucking mirror, okay? She looks at that and it's like, she about to go at it, and then all of a sudden, he knocking on the door. Daniel. And it's just super awkward. Like, she coming out the bathroom, he don't even fucking move. I'm like, what is this? So she like, yo, did you know I was here last night? And he was like, yeah. And she like, oh, I thought so. So you just want to fuck a bitch while I was here on purpose. That's what we getting at. That was her move. But anyway, furthermore into the episode. So Issa goes to pick up Molly. I'm probably scattered, but I'm remembering this as best I can. I literally just watched the episode and I have so much to say. So Issa goes to pick up Molly, and they go to dinner. Well, they go to lunch, and she tells her, maybe it was breakfast, but she picks her up and they inform each other about everything that's going on. And Molly is just like everyone else. Like, how could Daniel be so inconsiderate to be fucking girls while his ex-girlfriend is in the living room? Now, y'all know if Issa was doing that shit, he would have lost total respect for her and would have been calling her every hoe in the book. Because that's just how niggas are. Niggas ain't shit. But she starts to tell her about how she wasn't fucking with Quinn because he was trying to do long distance, getting in her way. She wasn't fucking with Jamaican boy because he was just beach dick, getting in her own way. And of course she not. Was it a third bitch? I don't know. But anyway, and she not fucking with Dro because Dro is married. She just wants to fuck Dro, but she don't want to fuck with him. Her logic. So. And then what was so funny is how every time they mentioned, she was like, you could just stay with me. I don't see that happen because they say all the time best friends should not live together. And clearly they cannot because a grudge is still being held from that week back in 2005 when Issa may or may not have broken that vase. Now, I believe Issa broke it because Issa's clumsy as shit. So I believe she broke it. But it's like, Molly, you got the money to replace that vase. Shut the fuck up. But what was funny, how when they paused looking at each other, if you look closely, Molly was trying so hard not to laugh. So, further into the episode, we got, what else do we have going on? We had Daniel. Okay, Daniel was in the studio with, I don't know who the fuck they were. I don't even know what the fuck they do. I just know Daniel produces. Then we have this girl who clearly has no talent in the studio making noise. And then she comes out and we see that's motherfucking Dawn Richard looking like Halle Berry and Baps with the motherfucking tight ass leathery pants on, making all that goddamn noise like you done went and sat on your motherfucking grandma's couch back in the 90s. Like those type of pants that she had. I couldn't even believe she had them pants on. And then she was like, "What y'all think?" And it was like, "Oh, we never heard nothing like that shit." Jaded fucking statement. Like to somebody who's dumb, they would accept that as a compliment when it can literally mean two things. So, she goes, "Oh, I do be right," and sometimes, and she goes back into the studio making all that goddamn crunching noise, like she got on the fucking diaper. Goes back into the studio doing what the fuck ever. I don't know. That scene was fucking hilarious. So really quick, I don't know if I missed this so far, but where the fuck did Issa find Daryl Bell from a different world? For all y'all know, he played Ron, Dwayne Wayne's best friend on a different world. Where the fuck did she find his old fat ass to come be on the new show that is being watched? Now, so far, I mean, shout out to my girl Erica Alexander. For whom, quick little fact about me. Maxine Shaw, Erica Alexander's character on Living Single, inspired Ride the Maverick. Like, I even looked up to what a Maverick was, and it was like someone who, the definition, someone who doesn't conform, an unbranded horse, that's one definition, and the second definition being someone who doesn't conform to accepted views in society, and that is so me. I do my own thing. I never really go with popular opinion. I have my opinion. I don't give a fuck about how people say things should go. I do me. So, and there's an episode where Max was running for alderman, and her campaign was Ride the Maverick. And thus, Ride the Maverick became the title for my YouTube channel. So, shout out to the writers over at Living Single. Shout out to Maxine Shaw, the character. Shout out to Erica Alexander for being an amazing actress and playing the fuck out of that character. But Daryl Bell, Eric Alexander, and Bill Bellamy are on this Martin spoof. Is it a spoof? This Martin parody to be the show that they watch on Insecure called Kevin. Like literally, if y'all catch a glance of the color scheme on the logo of the show, it totally echoes. I mean, not echoes, but it mirrors Martin. So, and then what clips they do show them watch the show are funny. But I'm like, man, Daryl Bell got fat as fuck. But that's what normally happens when you ain't got a reason to stay fit. So they're watching that, and it's fucking hilarious. But I will say, I feel as though Due North is going to be my favorite Insecure show within the show, because that shit was hilarious. So shout out to Regina Hall. Furthermore, after the studio, Daniel goes home. I guess that's his sister. Yeah, it had to be his sister or something like that. And maybe his niece. Yeah, because that was his sister. She braided her hair. He goes to get his guitar because he's just not happy with production. So his sister starts asking him if Jada could stay at his house, and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool, but Issa's there." And she's like, "Damn, how long that bitch gonna be there?" And he like, "Shit, just another 2 weeks." And she's like, "Well, all the places to stay, why would she choose you?" And that just bring a bell out in his head. But here's one thing I want to say about Daniel is that I feel he genuinely loves Issa, which is so weird to me why they live together and are not pursuing a relationship, because even in season 1, he was there for her when he was trying to help find out who put that video of her rapping on the internet. Then he was there for her in season 2 when her dumbass was looking at a dick pic and crashed, and he came to come pick her up. Daniel has always been her knight in shining armor, always the guy who was there for her. And in this situation, she needs a place to stay. He's there for her. So it's just crazy to me. And then Issa's dealing with, she's pissed about him bringing. First of all, we would be fucking. It's just no way. First, especially like if you about to start bringing people over, no. We're gonna be fucking, and I ain't about to be concerned. First of all, I'm not about to be sleeping on this uncomfortable couch if all I gotta do is to fuck you and sleep in the bed. And then if I don't have to sleep on the couch and I gotta worry about motherfuckers coming over because we fucking, it just don't make sense, Issa. It don't fucking make sense. There's no. And then you would talk. She was talking out. Fuck it. We're getting there. So further into the episode, what else happened? So yeah, Daniel Lee, because that put some shit off into his head. Then he goes home, and then he starts fucking around with music. And then Issa comes home and interrupts, and they start vibing and talking. And then he asks her, why did you want to stay with me? And she's like, well, you could. She playing it off, acting dumb. She's like, you plan, I mean, you're close to work, and I don't give a fuck about who you fuck, but it's like I don't want to hear it. Understandable. And he's just like, I hear you. And then Issa all awkward and shit, trying to play it off this uncomfortable ass conversation. Like, is it daylight savings time? Did that start already? I'm about to go see the texture of these curtains over here. Like, so further into the episode, we have Molly and Dro. And Molly's like, they had just fucked, and it's the morning after. And this scene blew me for a loop because some of us were a little curious of the status of Dro's open marriage. We were like, was it just bullshit? Was he just saying that just so he could fuck um, Molly, or was this some genuine shit? And now we see that it's some genuine shit because when I tell you, when he was on the phone with Candace and told her, I am still, and I missed this the first time. He told her, I am still at Molly's. That took me the fuck out. I'm like, what kind of shit? And then that when Molly rolled up out of bed, like I can see, it's like, bitch, no, you ain't. You ain't at Molly's, and you ain't gonna be at Molly's no more. Like that is just so weird, especially considering how her and Candace are friends. And it's like, it's one thing. I mean, first of all, it's just super weird to be fucking, while the wife doesn't. I mean, to be the friend and you fucking her husband and she don't know. But it's even weirder for this bitch to know. It's like, ugh. And she was like, look, bitch, I need boundaries. So we're either gonna be acquaintances who fucks, or we're gonna be real friends and we're not gonna fuck. And he's like, well, what are you suggesting? She was like, I just say we fuck. I mean, cause they ain't best friends. They ain't that damn close for the relationship to just be held on to for years. So let's just fuck until we don't want to fuck anymore, and then maybe we can decide we want to be friends. But that is just beyond weird. The fact that he was like, oh yeah, I'm still at Molly's. Because I was like, man, maybe he not. Because I was thinking this would have been good for season 3, was that it would have blew up in their face. Candace, I mean, because for me, it's like, yeah, have an open marriage, sure, but don't fuck anybody that we know. Like, don't be fucking people whose number I have on my phone, whose friends I am on Facebook, whose bitches I follow on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. Don't do none of that weird shit. Because it's like, yeah, bitch, so how was my husband's dick last night? Like, what? So that was weird. And I see why Molly was like, yo, that gotta go. Further into the episode, we had Issa back at We Got Y'all, right? Hold on, did I miss Party Live? No. So we got Issa back at We Got Y'all. And she's literally getting off the phone with all these black schools. I want to say they're predominantly black schools. And they are telling them that they're not fucking with We Got Y'all because the it's just ignorance. I really want to just say it's ignorance by the founders part, Joanne. Like literally, you want to go into, first of all, black kids are not going to receive all white staff trying to help them. Even if they're like just like I don't trust you, or they're just woke enough to know like you don't know anything about me or where I come from because you're from Beverly Hills. That just be the mood coming from those kids, and the kids see that, which is why the kids aren't receptive to all these white folks. And then, not even that, they're not receptive to them, but the white folks clearly don't care. They're just doing this for a job. Like all the little racist statements and shit that they make, they genuinely do not care about these kids. I feel like the only people who care about the kids are Joanne, Frida, and Issa, but Joanne and Frida are ignorant. So when they started talking about the logo, fucking Joanne's white hand holding up these 3 dark ass children. Like literally their bodies are black as fuck, and you got this white ass hand holding them up. Like bitch, that's not a reflection of the kids that you are trying to reach out to in this motherfucking nonprofit. Like you couldn't have had realistic looking kids. You just want to have 3 black bodies. Like what the fuck kind of shit is that? That is blatantly racist and ignorant. And then she's like, people are calling like, okay, you have a staff of all white people and 1 black person. Or look, they said you all came to school and these white people were all mean. It's like all of this shit. And Joanne is clearly stressed that all these schools are pulling out of her project. I mean, out of her organization. And that's why she's been no-ing. So Issa was like, look, I got all this information from these schools on why they don't want to work with we got y'all. Let me go relay this to Joanne to see what solutions can be created for us to have a better future. And when Issa was giving it to her, you can tell, like, you look at Joanne's face. She's like, oh my God, she's right because we don't have a school we're not partnering with this year, and but at the same time, for whatever reason, she just wanted to deflect and say, bitch, I don't give a fuck what you're telling me. Clearly, you're not qualified to tell me anything because that's why your ass is in the office now and no longer in the field. Why don't you go explore why your ass isn't out in the field no more? Why don't you go explore why every time something goes on here, you're at the root of it? Go explore that. And for me, I would have had to stop working for that bitch because there's no way you're going to talk to me like that when you're in the wrong. I actually have reasons why people don't want to work with your ass no more. And instead of listening to what the fuck I say, you decide you want to explode on me and invalidate me as a motherfucking employee. Nah, bitch. I would have went the fuck off. And if I was Issa, she talking about she wasn't about that lift life. Like, bitch, you need to be about that hustle life, that money life. Because I know so many people, I've met so many people who do live full time, like that is their job, and they're making hella money. And you're talking about how you don't want to be in Daniel's crib no more, or all this kind of shit, or you want to move out and be on your own, bitch. Lyft would be the solution for you, especially if you're working at a nonprofit where motherfuckers don't even respect you to hear what you have to say to help them. So I would just say, fuck all of that bullshit. I'm gonna do Lyft. Screw you guys. I'm out of here. So they leave. I mean, so party lift time. So because Daniel gives Issa the heads up that he having a bitch at his house, so she's like, "Fuck, I'm not about to go home and listen to the House of a Thousand Horrors. I need to find something to do." So she's like, "Bitch, Molly, let's do a party lift for me, please, 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 please." And she was like, bitch, I can't stay long because I'm about to go fuck John. She's like, okay, great, I'm outside. So she outside. And the funny thing is that a lot of friends will do like, bitch, I know I probably just upset you because I just inconvenienced the fuck out of you. So I'm about to be like overly hyped. I'm about to be overly crunk to try to put you on better spirits so you can enjoy this and not trip so hard about me pulling you from what the fuck you wanted to be doing right now. So she does just that, and they pick up these two girls, these two young girls who are probably like 8 years younger than them. And the funny thing is, if y'all paid attention to the two girls, you can tell the light-skinned girl with the braids was Issa, and the other girl on the right was Molly, because the fact that the girl was like, I'm on this guy's Instagram and I can't tell if he got a job or not. That is something Molly would have asked the first season. And then two, the girl was like, I done glued this heel on. I don't know how long it's gonna last. That's Issa's broke ass all day. Then when you see Issa and Molly laugh at the fact that they just like, man, these bitches are us. But not even like 8 years ago. These bitches are us 3 years ago. Or however the span is from season to season. So they drop them off. Then they pick up Nathan, who Molly clearly wanted to fuck. I don't know why she didn't try to get on with that. Because, never mind. So they pick him up, and then they pick up motherfucking this big ass black dude. This big Rick Ross looking motherfucker. This big Viscera from WWE looking motherfucker. Like, they pick his ass up and he in the back of the party lift who just dampening the motherfucking party. And Issa's like, have a Capri Sun. And he's like, oh, y'all ain't got no other flavors? They only got fruit energy. And then he says it to Nathan, they only got fruit energy. Like, this lift really ain't shit because they only got one flavor of Capri Sun. And I hear from Lyft drivers all the time how ungrateful people can be with the refreshments that are offered to them in a Lyft. And then they will take those same refreshments and don't even tip. Like, okay, you could at least pay for what the fuck you took out of this car, aside from your, whatever. So, and then it's another thing, you talking about you ain't about that Lyft life, but bitch, you buying refreshments and shit. But anyway, so all of a sudden, dude starts smoking weed in the back car. Issa asks him to put it back. He refuses. The dude, Nathan, says something, and he's like, oh, these bitches want a party Lyft. And he's like, okay, I gotta check this dude on behalf of these ladies. Because clearly they're not about to do nothing to this man as they shouldn't because they're women. I mean, Issa could have pulled over and called the police, whatever the case may have been, but he was like, I'm about to do something. So he takes this man's blunt, throws it out the window, and they start fighting. Scene was so funny because Issa's like, Issa's like, I can't do shit. Molly like, bitch, pull over. She like, I can't. Stop spilling on my Capri Sun. Stop fighting. Then she just do like this random ass scream. It's like, bitch, what are you screaming for? She's screaming as if they about to get into an accident. So she pulls over. Nathan gets out the car and just starts running off, which was off to me. Like, where are you going? There's no police pulling up. Big dude got his ass beat in the back seat of a lift. So, it just went to hell from there. Further into the episode, I think we're getting towards the end. Oh, okay. So, Issa and Daniel have a whole conversation. This is what I was about to get into earlier. They have a whole conversation about Daniel fucking other bitches and Issa not keeping it the fuck real. And Issa's like, dude, we have history. We used to be in a relationship and we've been fucking around for almost 2. Let's just put this in years. We've been fucking around for 2 years and you just fucking other girls in front of me. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. It's inconsiderate. And then another thing, I don't want to think about you with other women. And he's like, well, you came over here and you wasn't completely honest that why you wanted to come stay with me. You didn't say you wanted to come stay at my house because you technically wanted to use me. Because that's really what Issa was doing. Like, she knew Daniel would have her back. She knew it. Like, I knew it because he always looks out for her. So they had an honest conversation about it, and Daniel agreed that he wouldn't be fucking other girls in the house anymore. But for me, back to my original point, was y'all literally had this conversation. Like, what if he was ready now and he was always gonna be your what if guy? And then so when you finally are in a position to live with this man and fucking cohabitating all this kind of shit, now you just want to be on some no, we just need to be platonic friends. Why? It seems like you have everything in front of you right now, and I don't understand why she's not taking advantage of that. Maybe y'all can explain that shit to me in the comments, but it literally was not making any sense to me. Like, and then on top of it, like, no, if I don't have to sleep on the couch, if I don't have to listen to you, if I don't have to worry about you fucking other girls, if I don't have to listen to you fuck other girls just by being with you, then that's what I'm gonna do. So it doesn't make any sense to me why they're going on this platonic route while living together. It makes no sense. But he agreed not to do it anymore because they had that honest conversation. Now, Molly and Dro. So these two, Molly's like, Dro let himself in because she wasn't answering the phone. Wasn't answering. And she's like, okay, that's weird. You definitely should have asked me first. But one thing about Molly is like she's saying that she need boundaries, but she didn't set the boundaries when she said it. So that was the thing. Like, she said no phone calls and stuff, but with that is, it's like, girl, you said no phone calls, but you should have accepted his calls. So if you really want to be true to that, then you should have ignored his ass, sent his ass to voicemail, and forced him to text you. And then with the whole, I guess she didn't realize that he still even had his key. But it's like, girl, and this whole argument, because they just got into an argument about this whole key thing. It's like, girl, if that was the case, then you should have changed your locks. Or you should have asked him, you should have told him to give you your key. Well, she said she forgot, but you should have changed your locks. And then for me, I wouldn't argue with his ass. I would like, what, keep it. I'm just going to change the locks. So you can give me the key, or I'm going to change the locks. But I would have just changed the locks anyway. I would have waited for him to do that shit again, and he would have been out there looking stupid, waiting for me to come open the door. And then I probably wouldn't even open the fucking door, because that's what you get for trying to just waltz on into my apartment without asking me. I got into an argument, and then Dro says something really annoying, like, don't talk about what me and my wife do. It's like, bitch, I wouldn't have no room to talk about what you and your wife do if you didn't fucking involve me in what, go out of your way to involve me in what you and the fuck your wife do. Granted, Molly didn't have to go into it, but you still dropped it on me. I would never known y'all was in an open relationship if you weren't trying so hard to try to fuck me. Like, so that was weird. And Molly didn't really check him on it, but she was just like, just give me my key back. And reluctantly, he gave that key back. And I feel like with Dro, he wants to be in a relationship with Molly. He just either still wants his wife, and or he does not know how to leave his wife. And Molly, I feel as though she was so hesitant to set those boundaries because she was kind of wanting him to man up. Because how could you want to be with me so much and still be married? Like, why aren't you thinking, like, what is Candace really to you that you don't want to leave her for me? You know, and, which can be an invalidating that situation because it's like, man, am I not good enough? Am I just a fuck to you? Because, like, what is she? Because if I'm just a fuck to you and y'all not fucking because you fucking me all the time, then what is she to you? So maybe we'll see furthermore into this episode. So, Issa, the episode ends with Issa and Daniel sitting down, you know, watching Kevin. And, you know, I just called what Bill Bellamy said. He said, I'm Colin Kaepernicka. Hashtag me too. That was hilarious. And they was just chilling. And he was like, you know what, you got the house all to yourself tonight. And I don't even know what that was. I don't know if that was him showing her that he was not going to fuck girls anymore, or if that was him giving her the opportunity to bring a dude to the house. I don't know. But we'll see next Sunday. So that is my review of this episode. I felt like it was a great, funny episode. And I hope I didn't miss anything in this premiere, because there was just so many things I feel like I caught in this and I watched this episode 3 times, but I feel like there was so much that I caught that I probably didn't speak on, and I can't really remember other than Daryl Bell from A Different World being the guy on Kevin. That was funny. But that's my review. I'm gonna do this every single Sunday, so I'm going to do this every single Sunday, reviewing Insecure. I'm going to try to have the videos Monday. I was going to do it yesterday, but I was not in the mood to record, but I'm going to try to do it. If I can't do it Sunday night after the episode goes off, then I'll definitely do it Monday, the following Monday. So, like I said in the beginning of the interview, if y'all have any questions that y'all want to ask me, and y'all don't mind the answers being at the end of each video, send me an email, RideTheMaverickQuestions. And I'm so pissed because somebody had Ask the Maverick as a goddamn Gmail, and it pissed me off. Because originally I had Ask Maverick Questions, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get back into the email. So I literally had to create a new one. So if y'all watch this video, even if y'all want to ask me something retarded, ask me, get that email popping, y'all. And y'all have just wrote the Maverick. Peace.